Welcome back to Yang Daily. I'll be your host, Alex Cheney, bringing you all the Yang news you need to live your life right. Quite a diverse set of news today. We're already behind schedule, so I better get this out and get started on today's. Shout out to our Tier 3 patrons, Peter Park and Shay Meehan, as well as all our other patrons. You are essential. More Humanity Forward endorsements today. Stanley Chung is running for Hawaii State Senate from District 9. He worked as a real estate lawyer and supports low-cost housing, green energy, UBI, and more. Dana Balter is running for U.S. House to represent New York's 24th Congressional District. She has worked in disability services, both as teacher and nonprofit leader, helping families access support services. Dana supports public campaign finance, tying Congress members' salaries to their performance, green energy, $15 minimum wage, apprenticeship programs, monthly stimulus to citizens, and more. Check them out at the links below. McConnell has successfully rammed through Amy Barrett's confirmation to the Supreme Court. She will start work immediately. I don't really know what more to say about this. We've already discussed at length how bad ideological and partisan bias in the courts is, and how detrimental Amy Barrett will be as a judge. It just sucks. I definitely hope to be supporting the Democrats in adding seats to the Supreme Court and enacting a new system to maintain a balance of ideology on the courts in the future. Twitter said Monday it would begin placing messages at the top of users' feeds to preemptively debunk false information about voting by mail and election results. Research has shown that getting ahead of the propaganda can somewhat inoculate people against misinformation, though I think it's far too late on the mail voting front. Still, this can only help, and I hope they continue to do it in the future. Trump picked up another anti-endorsement today from the New England Journal of Medicine, which has never involved itself in a U.S. presidential election since its founding in 1812. In a scathing editorial titled "Dying in a Leadership Vacuum," they make no qualms about calling on Americans to vote Trump out of office for his crimes against humanity in spreading lies, misinformation, politicizing the pandemic, and more, resulting in tens of thousands of unnecessary deaths. This marks just the latest in a series of scientific journals making unprecedented endorsements to oppose Trump. An article by Peter Aldous explains why what's called the political stress indicator, which correlates closely with the likelihood of political violence, is at an all-time high and rising similar to before the Civil War. The causes read similarly to what we and Yang have already identified: financial insecurity, inequality, low social mobility, broken democracy and government, hostility to international trade, and more. The PSI was developed to measure the likelihood of foreign governments collapsing into authoritarian regimes. The inventor never imagined it would need to be applied to the US, but the signs are undeniable. The author stresses that these problems will not go away even if Trump is defeated. As we've discussed at length, saving America will require many significant reforms, and there is little time in which to accomplish them. Read more below. A recent study of casino-based UBI dividends turned up a peculiar result. They found that recipients' self-reported lifespan, or how long people expect to live, increased about 15 years compared to the control group, showing that UBI can make people more optimistic and better planners for the future, in addition to actually making them live longer, as we've discussed before. Alright, we've got a whole bunch of Yang appearances to announce. Yang was hosted in an episode of the I Don't Know About That podcast yesterday. Scott said it was a great discussion of UBI. Andrew will also be holding a fundraiser with Nancy Goroff on Friday, October 30th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. He'll join Pam Keith, Anna Escamani, and Carlos Smith for a Florida town hall tomorrow, October 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern to talk about cash relief. And he will be speaking with J.D. Schulten and C.J. Peterson on rural revitalization this Thursday, October 29th at 3:30 p.m. Central. Finally, the authors of The Count, the election document we discussed the other day, will be hosting a live stream today, October 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific. And that'll do it for today's Yang Daily. Check out our new candidates, bookmark and share the UBI lifespan thread and political stress indicator thread, help recruit other organizations to the cause and get everyone to sign the UBI petition, flood Congress and Trump with calls, tweets, and letters using the Resist bot or Income Movement easy contacts below, If you need help, consult Humanity Forward, the Income Movement Aid Database, the Mission Asset Fund, United Way, or the H3 podcast thread. And don't forget to Yang Daily.